like us to slow down and breathe together for a moment. Picture the room around you as if you're still lying there. The blanket half pushed away, maybe a hand searching blindly for the cool side of the pillow. Your mind suddenly alert even though your body feels like it's made of soft sand. It feels frustrating, doesn't it? You didn't choose to wake up. Something inside you decided that rest was over. But what if I told you? That awakening isn't your mind failing or your age catching up to you or your body simply refusing to cooperate. What if waking up at the same hour each night is actually your nervous system trying to protect you? Like a smoke alarm that goes off even when there is no fire. For nearly 4 decades, hospitals, clinics, night shifts listening to the rhythmic beeping of monitors and the slow whisper of oxygen flow. I saw something that most people never get to see from the outside. The truth about sleep. And the truth is far gentler than most seniors fear. Sleep problems after 70 aren't normal aging. They're not a life sentence. They're a signal. A light blinking on the dashboard saying, hey, something's spiking your stress while you're asleep. And that something more often than not is cortisol. The hormone your body releases when it believes you're in danger even when the only thing near you at night is a quiet lamp and a folded sweater on a chair. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever been peacefully asleep? Then suddenly your heart beats faster, your eyes flick open, and your brain feels like someone just turned the lights on in your skull. No nightmare, no sound, just awake, as if an internal invisible hand shook you by the shoulder. That, my friend, is cortisol. A wave, a spark, a sudden spike. And here's the remarkable hopeful part. We now know, thanks to new 2024 sleep studies in seniors, that there are 5 gentle nighttime medications. Several of them inexpensive and already familiar to many older adults that don't just help you sleep. They crush that cortisol surge at the root. They don't sedate your mind like a knockout pill. They don't fog your brain. Instead, they calm the body's alarm bell. They turn the volume down and let sleep become sleep again. Today, we'll walk through the first part of this journey, slowly, kindly, like a conversation over warm tea. We'll explore how these 5 remedies work, why they help, what science says about them, and how they can help you drift into deep, restoring sleep again. Not a forced sleep, but real sleep. The kind where you wake up smiling, not startled. The kind your body remembers from decades ago. We'll start with number 5, then number 4, then number 3 in each step of the way. I want you to imagine the experience of using it, the feeling of calm spreading through your body like lowering the lights with a dimmer switch. Ready? Imagine your nervous system as a highway late at night. Most cars gone, the asphalt glistening under streetlights. Suddenly out of nowhere, a rush of traffic barrels in, horns blaring, engines loud. That's cortisol at night. And magnesium glycinate is what clears that highway. It slows the traffic. It removes the noise. Magnesium glycinate isn't just a supplement. It's a mineral your body craves more with age, and one that nearly 80% of seniors Dan-T get enough of. Think of magnesium as the master relaxation mineral. Without it, muscles tighten like fists, thoughts speed like trains. The brain stays alert even when the body begs for rest. With it, the shoulders loosen, breathing deepens, and the nervous system quiets like a lake at dusk. Now the glycinate part, that's important. Glycine is the gentle peacekeeper attached to the magnesium. Lowers core body temperature ever so slightly, like cracking a window to let cool night air in. That tiny drop in temperature whispers to your brain, it's time to sleep. Not forcing, not sedating, just signaling. When researchers in Edinburgh studied magnesium glycinate, they found something beautiful. Seniors who took just 200 milligrams about an hour before bed didn't. Just fall asleep faster. Their cortisol levels dropped. Their nervous systems calmed. And within 2 weeks, something magical happened. The 2 a.m. wake-ups faded like fog burned away by sunrise. Can you picture that? Waking up less and less. Nights becoming whole again. Dreams returning like old friends you hadn't seen in years. You deserve that. And here's what I love about magnesium glycinate. It builds. Each night you take it, you're strengthening your defenses against stress. Not like a pill you swallow and forget, more like watering a plant, nourishing it, helping it thrive over time. Many seniors ask, "Doctor, what if it upsets my stomach?" And that's an important question. Magnesium citrate or oxide can absolutely cause that problem. But glycinate? It's the gentle version. High absorption, low digestive upset. It slips into the cells where it needs to go, like a key into a lock, with almost no resistance. Now imagine this scene. You make yourself a warm herbal tea, chamomile, lavender, whatever feels like home, and you dissolve 200 milligrams of magnesium glycinate into it. It's the cup warms your fingers. The steam carries a soft scent. You sit near a window or your favorite chair, slow sips, slow breathing, the mind unspooling like a reel of film. You aren't fighting sleep. You're inviting it in, like opening a door. That is the first tool. Soft, gentle, powerful. But magnesium is only the beginning. Let's glide into the next remedy, like slipping into calm water. Have you ever held a warm cup of green tea between your palms and felt a sense of peace settle in, even before you tasted it? That serene hush comes not from caffeine, but from a compound called L-theanine, a name that sounds scientific, but the feeling is simple. Relaxation without drowsiness, calm without fog, quieting of storms inside the mind. Theanine works on the brain like a graceful switch dimer. Not off, not on, something softer. Scientists in Kyoto noticed that when seniors take 200 milligrams of pure L-theanine about 45 minutes before bed, cortisol drops nearly half. Imagine that for a moment. Not by knocking you unconscious, but by smoothing the edges of worry, like ironing wrinkles out of tangled thoughts. Why does that matter? Because insomnia, after 70, isn't usually about falling asleep. It's about staying asleep. And to stay asleep, the mind must settle like snow in a glass globe, flakes drifting downward instead of swirling. Theanine is what stops the swirling. Picture this inside the brain. Neural chatter, conversations between nerve cells buzzing like a crowded cafe. Theanine enters and lowers the volume. Chairs empty. Voices soften, the lights dim. Not silence, just peace. Gentle peace. Here's something fascinating. Theanine increases alpha waves. These are the same brain waves seen in monks during deep meditation. Calm alertness. Present but peaceful. Imagine feeling that in your own body, not sedated, not groggy, simply unburdened. And unlike teas or drinks, pure L-theanine contains no caffeine, no bathroom trips all night, no jittery heart, just a single clear instruction to your nervous system. Rest now. Science tells us something else too. Seniors who take theanine nightly not only sleep deeper, they think clearer during the day. Better focus, it's better memory. Fewer anxious loops, because sleep isn't only about night. Good sleep gives you a better tomorrow. And think of how comforting this is. No addiction risk, no withdrawal, no dependence, just support, just balance. Like a hand placed gently on your shoulder. But if these first two remedies soothe the surface, the next one dives deeper into the stress memory of the body itself. Now we enter powerful territory. Ancient roots, modern evidence. Ashwagandha, perhaps you've heard the name before in passing, the way you'd hear a familiar song from a distant room. It has been used for centuries in Ayurvedic medicine to restore strength, calm the mind, and rebuild resilience. But only recently have modern studies shown just how strongly it lowers cortisol for seniors. In 2019, a clinical study found that 600 milligrams of standardized extract before bed dropped cortisol by 58%. Imagine cortisol like boiling water bubbling inside the body. Ashwagandha is the hand that reaches out, turns the burner down, and lets everything simmer instead of overflow. But there's something more profound here. Ashwagandha doesn't just lower cortisol tonight. It trains your body not to panic tomorrow. It helps unlearn the stress response, the way a music teacher gently retrains a shaky hand to play a smoother chord. For seniors, this matters deeply. Over decades, stress builds like layers of sediment: work, family, illness, memories, grief, responsibility. Layer by layer by layer, ashwagandha begins to lift those layers a little at a time, not erasing them. It's just easing their weight. People describe it in beautiful ways. It's like developing thicker skin, but a softer heart. Like life still brings waves, but they crash quieter. The mind becomes less reactive. The body less jumpy. Instead of waking at 3 a.m., you glide past that hour like a boat on calm water. Now, to unlock this benefit, the form matters. KSM-66 or Sensorol are the trusted extracts. At least 5% with analydes, and ideally taken with a small spoonful of almond butter or coconut oil, because the active compounds are fat-soluble, like light dissolving in warm honey. Most seniors feel the first shift in about a week. Sleep deepens, mind slows, dreams return. But the full effects bloom around week 4 to 6. It builds, compounds. A slow sunrise, not a flicked switch. I often tell patients to imagine their stress system as an overstretched violin string. Ashwagandha loosens the tension slowly, gently, until the string vibrates with warmth instead of pain. And yet, our journey isn't finished. Because what if we could not only calm stress, but block the very signal that triggers cortisol in the first place? That is where we go next. Say the word slowly in your mind. Phosphatidylserine. Sounds technical, I know. But its role in your body is beautifully simple. It's a lipid, a soft, fatty molecule woven into the membrane of every brain cell, like mortar holding bricks together. If brain cells were houses, phosphatidylserine would be the insulation keeping them warm, stable, protected. And with age, that insulation thins. Not because you did something wrong, simply because time passes, and the brain uses this compound faster than it replaces it. Imagine. What happens when this protective layer wears down? The command center hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal connection becomes jumpy, like an old smoke detector beeping at steam instead of fire. Cortisol alarms go off far too easily. Little stress feels like big danger. Sleep becomes fragile, lighter, more breakable. It's like a sheet of thin ice instead of a frozen lake. This is why phosphatidylserine matters so deeply for seniors. When taken before bed, around 300 milligrams, studies from the University of Wales found cortisol levels can drop up to 70% within days, not months, days. Sleep deepened. Wake-ups melted away like frost under morning sun. Some seniors described it as if someone had finally turned down the switch in their brain for the first time in years. Picture that with me. You lie in bed, you breathe, your mind is quiet, not empty, just soft, like a book gently closed for the night. The 3M spark that used to snap you awake now flickers weakly, then fades. The brain, protected again, stops hitting panic buttons it no longer needs. The night stretches long and continuous, like a river flowing calm and unbroken. But the benefits go farther, because phosphatidylserine isn't just a sleep compound. It improves memory, clarity, focus. Seniors often report they feel like themselves again, thinking faster, recalling names more easily, reading without rereading. Because good sleep does not only restore the night, it renews the day. And if you've lived with years of stress, caring for loved ones, health battles, long responsibilities carried quietly, phosphatidylserine can feel like a repair crew entering the brain, patching tiny cracks, rewiring old circuits, soothing inflammation like aloe on sunburned skin. It doesn't erase the past. It just gives you back resilience you thought was gone forever. Sunflower-derived supplements are best. They absorb smoothly, rarely cause sensitivities, and blend into the body like warm honey into tea. And here's a tip. Take it with a light snack. Not a big meal, just a few bites of something gentle, allowing absorption like water soaking into dry earth. And now, with 4 tools behind us, we reach the final, most extraordinary one. Number 1. The smallest molecule with the biggest impact. A simple amino acid that performs what scientists have called sleep miracles. Close your eyes a moment. Really try this. Imagine sleep not as something you chase or fight for, but something that comes to you the way sunset comes to the sky. Slowly, smoothly, inevitable. Glycine is the molecule that invites that sunset in. Just 3 grams before bed, a teaspoon stirred into warm water or herbal tea, and something beautiful happens. Cortisol doesn't just drop, it plunges. Deep sleep increases by nearly 3-fold in seniors studied in Japan. Breathing slows. Brain waves lengthen. Muscles unclench as if the body exhales from years of tension. Glycine doesn't sedate, it harmonizes. Think of it like a conductor stepping onto the podium of your nervous system, raising their hand in every instrument breath. Muscle, brainwave, temperature falls into rhythm. Where magnesium opens pathways and theanine softens thoughts, Glycine builds the very bridge that leads you into sleep. A gentle sweetness on the tongue, a warmth behind the eyes, heaviness not in the mind but in the limbs, soft like blankets fresh from the dryer. Something fascinating happens too. Glycine lowers core body temperature subtly, like dusk after a hot day. This tiny drop signals the brain with a message older than memory itself. Night has come. It is safe to rest. But the benefits don't end when morning arrives. Glycine improves. Next day, mental sharpness, faster thinking, easier recall, more alert mornings. Because at night, it helps the brain wash out metabolic waste, toxins, aging proteins, linked to memory loss. It's like rinsing paintbrushes instead of letting them harden and crack. Sleep cleans you. Glycine hands the brain a mop and bucket. No grogginess, no dependence, no rebound insomnia, just deep restoration, like returning to a room you once lived in long ago, where everything felt easy, familiar, safe, and paired with magnesium glycinate. Oh, the synergy is remarkable. Magnesium relaxes you into sleep. Glycine pulls you deeper. Two gentle rivers meeting into one. So now we have our 5. Magnesium glycinate, soften the nerves. L-theanine, calm the chatter. Ashwagandha, retrain the stress system. Phosphatidylserine, protect the brain, lower the alarm. Glycine, restore deep sleep, wash the mind clean. 5 tools, 5 lights in the hallway, back to peaceful nights. But knowing them is only the beginning. What matters most is understanding how they fit into your life, your evenings, your rhythms. So I want to guide you further into imagery, into structure, into ritual. Because sleep is not just biology. Sleep is emotional. Sleep is sensory. Sleep is the feeling of being allowed to rest. Let's paint that picture together. Let's slow down again. You and I sit with everything you've just learned. Not in your head, but in your chest. Because information is one thing. But transformation begins when something touches you deeper, when it feels real, like water soaking into dry soil. I want these words to stay with you when night falls, when the world quiets, when the clock reaches the hour you used to dread, because that moment 2, 3, 4 in the morning is about to change for you, not through force, not through medication that knocks you unconscious like a hammer, but through understanding, through science that respects your body, through a new relationship with sleep that feels gentle, compassionate, human. Imagine tonight, not someday. Tonight. You prepare your room as you always do, maybe the same bed, the same pillows, the same night table lamp. But something subtle will be different now. Awareness, confidence, a feeling you haven't had in a long time. The sense that your sleep is fixable, reclaimable, something you can rebuild with your own hands. For years, maybe decades, waking up at the same hour felt like a mystery, a punishment, a habit carved by time. But now you know the truth. It wasn't you. It wasn't aging. It was cortisol, your internal guard dog barking at ghosts. And suddenly, you know how to quiet it, how to soothe the animal instead of fighting it, how to guide it into sleep alongside you instead of against you. Let's picture the night fully, with detail, like a scene in your mind. It's late. You sit in your living room with the lights dimmed to a golden glow. Outside, the world has gone still, traffic gone, conversations over, dishes washed. You hold a warm mug in your hands. Inside it dissolves magnesium glycinate, soft on the stomach, gentle, like a lullaby for the nerves. In your body, pathways begin to open like unclenching fists. Muscles soften, shoulders drop from the weight they've been holding all day. Thoughts don't vanish, they just settle, like feathers falling through air. Then comes L-theanine, the quiet mind tamer. Doesn't knock you out, it simply lowers the noise, like someone slowly turning the volume knob of your inner radio. The buzz of worry that once flickered like neon now dims into something softer, distant, manageable, unthreatening. Ashwagandha takes longer, yes, weeks, not minutes. But imagine what happens after that time, when nights are no longer battles but passages. Your stress system isn't reactive anymore, it listens, responds carefully instead of exploding into cortisol storms. Like a violin string once pulled too tight, now tuned, warm, resonant. The music becomes smoother. Your night's more forgiving. Phosphatidylserine strengthens the walls of your brain's command center like new beams placed inside an old house. Cortisol alarms stop ringing without cause. Sleep becomes whole, not broken into fragments like shattered glass. You move through night hours without waking, like sailing across a calm sea under moonlight. And glycine, the smallest molecule, the biggest relief. 3 grams, sweet as a whisper, cools the body, deepens the brain waves, lengthens the time you spend repairing, dreaming, healing. You don't drift, you descend. You don't wake startled, you wake restored. Morning feels like morning, not survival. Now, let's stretch further into months ahead, not just tonight. Picture yourself 3 weeks from now. You wake with sunlight touching the curtains. Your first breath is deep, not shallow. You don't swing your legs out of bed because you must. You rise because your body feels ready, like a tree rooted deeply in good soil. Your mind feels clear. Names come easily. Memories feel closer. You make breakfast without the usual fog behind your forehead. Maybe you go for a walk later. Maybe you cook something you haven't made in years. Maybe you call family, not from exhaustion, but from presence. That is what proper sleep returns to you, not just hours, but life. And if we go further, 6 weeks, 8, 12, imagine the compounding effect. Cortisol low, stress quiet, sleep deep and restorative. Joints less stiff because muscles recover at night. Mood steadier, conversations lighter, laughter more natural. Energy consistent instead of falling in afternoon crashes. Your body will not just be sleeping, it will be repairing, strengthening, rebuilding. Because sleep isn't downtime, sleep is construction. Every night you sleep deeply, workers enter your body with toolboxes repairing DNA, scrubbing toxins, cooling inflammation, forming memories like books placed onto shelves. Glycine speeds the cleaners. Magnesium relaxes the scaffolding. Theanine keeps the site calm. Ashwagandha stabilizes long-term stress wiring. Phosphatidylserine protects the control room, managing the entire operation. No sedative does this. No sleeping pill rebuilds you. These compounds aren't forcing sleep. They are letting sleep do its job. This matters more than most people know. So let this next part sink in slowly, like warm light through winter curtains. You are not broken. Your sleep is not gone. Your age is not the reason you wake at night. You were missing tools, and now you have them. I hope something in you feels lighter because of that. Not just hopeful, empowered, not wishing, knowing. Now, before we part, I want to speak to you personally. As someone who has held many tired hands, listened to many patients whisper their frustrations at night, watched many seniors believe sleep was something their younger selves took with them. It wasn't taken. It was waiting patiently for you to understand it. And now you do. If you allow yourself time, patience, and consistency, sleep will return. Not as a stranger, but as an old friend. So tonight, when you lay down, I want you to feel something different. A softness in your chest, a calm in your mind, a quiet expectation instead of dread. Maybe you'll still wake at 2 a.m. A few more nights, that's all right. Progress is not a straight line, it's a sunrise. First, the horizon glows, then light spreads. Then suddenly one morning you realize the sun is already up. And when that morning comes for you, and it will, I hope you smile into your pillow and think of this moment, of this conversation, of this new path. And if you ever forget or feel lost again, return to these 5 steps, like returning to a familiar path in the way. Magnesium, theanine, ashwagandha, phosphatidylserine, glycine, shown by research but carried by care. Your care for yourself. And if one day this brings you peace, real restful peace, I hope you share it with someone else who wakes in the dark and feels alone, because they aren't. You aren't. Millions experience this, and millions can heal. And if you'd like more guidance, more science told gently, more tools that give your later years strength rather than fear, you know where to find the next video. The subscribe button is there quietly, like a light switch waiting for a fingertip. No urgency, no pressure, just an invitation. From my table to yours. Sleep well. Not once, but again and again and again. Your nights are returning. So are you.